Greetings, my name is Dr. Malusi Mncube from South Africa. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Salamu Alaikum. I totally support the upholding of the rule of law within the framework of the Constitution of South Africa, especially against the background of the recent peaceful mass protests that were held against undocumented illegal immigration. Illegal immigration, it's a breach of law, and it must not be tolerated. But the first line of responsibility is South Africa's state organs. That is your Home Affairs, your immigration, your intelligence, your police, and your army. We wouldn't be sitting with this problem if they were competent in executing their job. Having said that, I totally do not support any type of criminality in South Africa or in Africa. Laws must be respected by everyone. And Africa's corrupt sellout leadership, they must be arrested. Those who are involved in drug trafficking, they must be arrested. Those who are involved in human trafficking must be arrested. Also arrest currency manipulators and illicit tax haven evaders who cost South Africa billions of rands, who cost Africa billions and billions of rands. These are also fundamental structural issues. We should be having repeated debates. We should be having repeated marches, peaceful marches against, because these issues are fundamental, they are imperative, they are existential for Africa, because Africa today is a joke, is a laughingstock. Africa does not own its own resources. Yes, we have the resources, but Africa's resources are owned by corporations in Europe and America, totally. Most of our leaders who are billionaires and multimillionaires, they are collaborating and receiving illicit rents from those corporations. Most of the wealth that they have is not derived from their resources and products that they value, add, and control, underpinned by Africa's own currencies or currency. That is existential. That is very serious. These are issues we should be looking at. So having said that, we must urgently integrate Africa's economies, currencies, industries, central banks, police, intelligence, and military. They must be integrated, because when we integrate, we are taking advantage of scale and we can better leverage. If, for instance, you look at Google, you look at Apple, you look at Facebook, you look at Microsoft and Amazon, they provide most of the digital industrial infrastructure in Africa. We don't have an independent digital infrastructure in Africa. And we are already colonized. This is serious. This is not just rhetoric. This is existential. And these are issues we should be debating every day, marching against every day, strategizing around every day, and raising the political awareness of our people every day, from primary school to university level and to post-university level, and with all civil society organizations all the times. Currency manipulators in South Africa and those who are involved in illicit transfers of money, corporations here in South Africa that are also headquarters in Europe and America, this is a very serious problem. Some of you, or most of you, I would like you to study the Competition Commission of South Africa. And these are the issues you should be marching against. also, besides undocumented illegal immigration, which is very important, and marching against criminality as well. Critically important. We also experienced what happened to Venezuela, where they kidnapped their president. The president and his wife, President Maduro and his wife. What's the lesson for South Africa? Where they killed a son of the soil of Africa, Muammar Gaddafi, extrajudicially by NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And Africa could do nothing about it because we do not have the military to match the United States of America or NATO. So what are we to do besides correctly marching against undocumented illegal immigration? If you saw what happened to President Maduro, if you saw the illegal war they imposed on Iran, what are we to do as Africans? Are we just going to sit down and think South Africa is a powerful country? No, it's not. Are we just to sit down and think Lesotho is a powerful country? No, it's not. The GDP, gross domestic product of the whole of Africa, is about 3 trillion US dollars. It almost matches the revenue of just Google, one American company, because the GDP of the whole of the United States is about 20 to 28 trillion. When are we going to get there? Are we not ambitious to get there? China got there in 40 years because of a serious leadership. Are we as Africans not serious? The first nuclear country in the world was the United States. And that threatened Russia. And they made certain that they became a nuclear competitor. Today, they are a nuclear power. So is North Korea, India, and Pakistan. So what's stopping Africans? These are serious matters. This is what we should be educating our people about. This is what should be inspiring us, what Iran has managed to do in about 30 years. That's why at least for 2 months, going for 3 months, they've managed to challenge the United States of America militarily. Us, when they kicked and they extrajudicially killed Gaddafi, we couldn't even do that. These are the serious matters. Now, if you also look in South Africa, from 1994 right up to now, our economy has not been structurally overhauled to benefit the black majority. It has never been. Even when it was growing to line the pockets of foreign corporations and the richest here in South Africa. Most of us South Africans who became the middle class, we became the middle class because of a framework of debt and consumption, not from a productive system that we were controlling our commanding heights of the economy. And that is existential. So from 94 up to now, we haven't moved. So yes, we can correctly fight for saloons. We can correctly fight for all these peripheral businesses. But they are not the real issue. I'm not saying we must stop fighting for them. The real issue, how are we going to get back our economy to the black majority? That is the issue. When are we going to do that? Because China managed to do that and they've become a superpower. Are we not going to emulate China and be like China? Are we afraid of being a superpower as Africans? Do we think we're not capable? You just want to remain with the GDP of South Africa? You are not much more ambitious than that? You just want to remain with the GDP of Lesotho? You are not much more ambitious than that? You just want to remain with the GDP of Malawi, of Zimbabwe, of Egypt, all of them which are laughable compared to the GDP of Russia, of China, of America. Don't we want to be amongst them in the next 40 years? Then we better start working now, inch by inch, day by day. And it means Africans must unite. We must integrate our economies. We must integrate our currencies, industries, military, police, security. And gradually, strategically, after discussions and brainstorming and policy measures, start removing borders within a framework of a very capable continental security. I repeat, there must be free movement of Africans within a framework of an upgraded, competent continental security, so that we can unleash the intellect of our people, we can unleash the entrepreneurial skills of our people, and them collaborating with each other. But be that as it may, because there will be problems, but the law will be there to take its course. There is more to be gained in finding our way to unity. Yes, there will be problems. There will be more that will be gained. And nation states, quite honestly, they are useless. They are not getting Africa anywhere. And the only way we will get scale and leverage and to be like China and America and Russia is for Africa to integrate. I hope we will educate each other. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. But let's keep on negotiating. Let's keep on debating these issues. But as Africans, let's not start killing each other, burning each other's property, whether in South Africa, whether in Nigeria or anywhere else. Let's stop doing that. And I would like to implore the security structures of Africa, of South Africa, their home affairs, their police intelligence, do competently your jobs so that we do not have what we are having yet today. Where in Libya, for instance, African people are being sold as slaves. It's not just here in South Africa. Where in Sudan, there is no state. These things are happening. Where in Nigeria, we have Boko Haram. We do not want these type of things. Where in the Sahel, they are trying to assassinate Ibrahim Traore. I can put my life on the line. As a country alone, South Africa are not going to survive. Malawi, you are not going to survive. Egypt, you are not going to survive. You are not, definitely. Anyone wants to invite me for this debate, our only salvation lies in our unity. It's going to be difficult. Great things are difficult. It's going to be difficult, just like raising a child or raising a business. It's going to be difficult, but that is our only passageway. Like Kwame Nkrumah said, Africa, unite or perish. And I would implore all of you to read the works of Kwame Nkrumah and other greats like Kwame Nkrumah. I love you, Africans, all of you, not only in Africa, but all over the world. We face an existential threat as Africans. I thank you. Ngiyabonga. Nisaleni kahle. Dumelang.